Hi there. Welcome into a brand new episode of Still a Hero, powered by USAA. My name is Randy Miller, and every week we feature great conversations with people who have led in the military community and are now leading in their other communities. And we got a great one for you today. Hey, we've got a great one here for you today. Jim Honea. Jim serves as the Senior Enlisted Policy Advisor and Relationships Principal for Policy and Alliances at USAA, where he works to build strategic public and private partnerships that shape policy, improve quality of life for the military community, and enhance member value. 33-year USAA member, retired after 38 years of service in the U.S. Navy, culminating as the 16th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, where he served as the Senior Enlisted Advisor to the Chief of Naval Operations and the Secretary of the Navy, representing the voice and the interests of over 400,000 sailors and their families. Jim, welcome to Still a Hero.
Well, thank you very much, Randy. It's quite the honor. And, what a very, very kind introduction. Thank you for that.
Hey, listen, it's all true. I could have gone on for another 10 minutes.
Well, that wouldn't be necessary. Nobody wants to look at me blushing on the podcast, but thank you very much. It was certainly a privileged responsibility to have served as long as I have in the United States Navy, and especially in the last role as the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. I definitely felt as though it was privileged, and it was something I took very seriously. That those that I represented felt well represented, and they were proud of the representation that I provided. And I walked away feeling fulfilled. And although I enjoyed the job, I'm very pleased to be on the other side of things and having a little bit slower pace of life. But I couldn't have found a more perfect continuation of that work. As the MCPON, than what I'm doing here at USAA, continue to advocate on behalf of all military service members, their families, and the veteran community. It's just really, really is a blessing.
That's cool. And we want to get into all that, but I love to ask this question just right off the bat, Jim. What inspired you to get into the military?
My father also served. He served 25 years in the United States Air Force.
Oh, wow.
But at the time, I was offloading trucks at about 3:00 in the morning in a truck yard, and I would eat my lunch break, which was breakfast time, right across the street from the military recruiting station. And every day when I was eating, I would daydream more and more about what that life might look like, rather than the life I currently had. And one day I went over there and I spoke with all the different recruiters, and it was a Navy recruiter that opened up a cruise book that showed me what a life could be and opened my eyes to an adventure in a world I couldn't have imagined. And I found something to run to rather than there's something to run away from. I found something to run to, and it was a world of adventure. It was incredibly a lot of work. Don't get it wrong, but it was a lot of fun. I had a complete blast. I can't believe 38 years went by so fast. But as I said, I found it really, really great that I was continued to ask to serve, and they continue to find employment for me in the Navy. Not everybody gets to serve 38 years, but it was a lot of fun.
So how did Dad take the news about the Navy?
I think my mother and my father were, wanting other things for me at the time. I was 17. I think they would have liked to have seen me go on to college, do other things, but they were good with it. Of course, they had to sign the paperwork to let me enlist as early as I did. And my father knew what life would be like there. It would be a very tough couple first years, but once you've proven your value, you've earned your keep, you're qualified, you're a contributing member of your winning combat team, things start shaping up and it all kind of works out. So at first, maybe he had some trepidation, but he knew that all in all, I had all the right principles. I was willing to work hard, and it was going to bode well. And it would be good to ask him what he thinks about that today. Understand where things ended up.
Oh, absolutely. I want to get into that. We're talking to Jim Honea here on Still a Hero. And so this journey, 38 years to Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, only the 16th in that position, which is incredible. And what a great situation that you found yourself. But what does it take to lead and advocate at the highest enlisted level in the Navy? I mean, that's 400,000 sailors we're talking about here.
Well, I think that needs to be rooted in the beginning on some lived and learned experience. If it's very difficult for you to advocate on behalf of people that you don't understand their life or the work and what they're going through. I had lived that life. I served out in the fleet on board ships for a little over 20 years of my 38-year career. There's not much, if you were to go through my biography, that you will not see every other sailor having to deal with those exact same things. So I felt very comfortable in that space, which was important as somebody that was going to advise policy leadership as well as lawmakers in Congress. What I found really quickly was that they were great patriots, just like yourself and I and all those who were out there serving. What they were missing many times was the perspective of the fleet sailor and the perspective of their families. And I could show up to that meeting with them with that experience by the bagfuls. So I would say it starts with that, having that kind of lived experience and understanding. But it takes a lot of hard work. And you don't arrive at that moment prepared to execute those kind of duties and responsibilities if you've not exercised all that hard work leading up to that. And fortunate for me, I grew up in a family that, and my father demanded hard work, expected that out of us, and taught us the true value of being willing to take on the difficult assignment, being willing to take on the hard job, and to be able to execute well at those jobs.
And Jim, it kind of sounds like it was almost like an organic experience for you to go from where you started with the Navy and to kind of follow those steps and different levels up the ranks. Did it feel like that, or was every new situation just kind of mind blowing?
Randy, I make it sound maybe like it was organic and smooth. It was far from it. I'm a hard-headed individual, so there was a lot of tough roads along that way. But by the time I arrived, I felt really well prepared to take on that assignment, and I felt very comfortable about it. I felt very comfortable in my interview with the Chief of Naval Operations at the time about what my vision was to help prepare the enlisted force to execute the vision of the CNO, and I think things went pretty well. So, yes, all in all, organic, but I would say that it came with a lot of hard work along the way, and smoothed out some of my rougher edges over the years.
Well, do you say, Jim, that you kind of lean on any one or two leadership qualities that kind of took you through not just the Navy, but what you're doing now for USAA?
Well, I think that the first thing is you need to have good relationships with people. And there's a lot of attributes that go along with, being good at connecting and having relationships with people. But you have to have those, and whatever that is, because you're not going to get very many things done on your own. So you need to have good relationships. And if I was going to try to boil that down, I would boil it down into, you need to be smart. You you need to be motivated, and you need to be selfless. If you have those three things going for you, then people are going to want to attach themselves with you. They want you on their team. They either as a leader or as a teammate or as a follower. If you come to work every day trying to be smarter, I don't mean that you just show up and I'm super intelligent. You have a natural curiosity to be better at what you do every single day. That's encouraging. People are excited to be around someone like that, and someone that's motivated and excited about their job. That's infectious, and people want to have that around them. And if you're the type of person that doesn't really care who gets the credit, you just want to get the job done, then you make a good teammate. So I think those things are necessary if you want to have those necessary relationships so you can get that work done. Because very few times do you get to work and you get it all done by yourself. It takes a whole lot of people to get anything of any real value accomplished.
Kind of along those lines, Jim, I mentored recently a 22-year Navy veteran, and she had a tough time leaving. Took her a while to kind of find the right spot and find a new job, which she did. And she called me about a month in, and she said, I don't think this is going to work out. And I said, what's the problem? She said, well, in the Navy, I would tell somebody to do something and they do it. And she said, in this job, that doesn't work. and it was a really kind of a period of frustration for her, because she just could not understand why those kind of things didn't operate that way in regular company.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and they didn't work that way in the Navy. It was more than likely somebody was help picking that up and moving that along. She was just blind to all those that were around her.
Yeah.
That had bought into her plan, bought into her vision, and they didn't require much more direction or correction from her. They just followed her blindedly. And that is what doesn't necessarily translate. It will eventually, probably, if she spends some time in a specific department leading a certain group of people, they'll get more on board, and things will just happen naturally because she said so. But that isn't the way it works on its own. It may appear to be that way, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I think. No, she's doing well now, and just kind of an interesting transition for her. We're talking to Jim Honea on Still a Hero, and well, speaking of that, finding your perfect spot, which she finally did. Your mission continues, and how you've been able to find your role at USAA, and you talked about it's kind of the same thing you were used to in the Navy, and you apply your advocacy skills in your role of shaping the policy alliances at USAA, and that's something that you're very used to, right?
Yes, it is the work that I was doing for the last 3 years of my service. Prior to that, I'd spent the majority of my Navy career in operational units or operational headquarters and higher echelons of leadership. But it was very little of the man, train, and equip piece, which is what we do at the Pentagon, in the Navy Department. It was all about man, train, equip, organize a Navy that will go forward and fight and win. So that was a little bit different. But to take those last 3 years and translate that to what I'm being asked to do at USAA, it was a natural progression. It feels great. And I'm able to continue to use the same relationships that I had toward the end of my career back at the Pentagon, in Congress, or in the Veterans Administration, to act on behalf in the best interest of our entire military community, both active and prior serving.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, Jim. The more we talk to different people from different departments of USAA, they just always seem to pick the right people. You know what I mean? I mean, they just seem where your experience aligns exactly with what they need and what they need for their membership. And I don't know how they always seem to do that, but it seems like they do.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place to work, I think, to begin with, and so since it's an employer of choice, you have a huge talent pool that are applying to be on that team, and that allows then for the recruiters and the hiring managers and the leadership at USAA to be very selective about the people that do finally get the chance to come and work there, because it is a special place, and I feel humbled that I was considered to be one of those special people that get to work at a special place like this.
Well, and when you got all kinds of special people like that working together, that's got to be a great unifying feeling for everybody. And I'm sure you got a great team that you work with.
I have a phenomenal team, and the majority of us are just like me, veterans that have retired in the last year to 2 years, and they're incredible. I sometimes sit there just in complete awe of all the work that they're accomplishing, and just how motivated they all are to do the work that we're getting after. But the whole entire company is full of people like this. They're a lot of fun to work with. Even if I don't know their name, just walking past them in the headquarters makes you feel good. It's that kind of a place. It fills your cup up walking around and talking with people.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to be there for last Veterans Day and kickoff for the big campaign, and I just felt proud to be among those people that were there. And I say this all the time to whether it's defense people or anybody. I'm just when I hear what you're doing, I'm glad you're on our side.
Yeah. Well, Randy, we're glad that you're on our side as well. Thank you.
Oh, man, it's my honor. I want to ask you, Jim, about your work on the board of directors for the U.S. Navy Memorial. Tell us about that.
Well, that's exciting. The Navy Memorial is an incredible organization that does a lot of great work telling the story of the U.S. Navy sailor to America. And I had such a great relationship with them while I was in the office of the MECBON. And to be asked to come join the board there, to lead those efforts and help shape the work they're doing has been extremely incredible. They honor the past, inform the present, and inspire the future. That's their motto. That's the work that they're doing. And again, of all the people in the world that the CEO and the chairman of the board plucked me and asked me if I would come help participate, I was honored. And we get to do some incredible work.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the memorial itself. Is it, are we talking about a lot of artifacts, a lot of different pieces of that?
Yeah, so they do have quite a few artifacts. It's not an enormous facility. It's large enough to have some artifacts on display that they can change out and rotate. There's a special display going right now about America 250 and the Navy's involvement in those 250 years. There's another section that's just about the Delbert D. Black National Chiefs Mess. And so it goes all through the history of chief petty officers in the United States Navy. And they have plenty of meeting space and an auditorium that they can use to showcase heritage, as well as put on current events and speaking series, as well as bring in, as I said, folks that are going to be part of our future Navy.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit, Jim. I mean, 38 years, right now, things change 100% by the next day, right? I mean, technologically and culturally in so many different ways. From the time you started in the Navy to the time you left the Navy, man, I can't even imagine just like whether it's defense systems or processes, anything like that. Talk about that a little bit, man. That's got to be, you got to look back sometimes and go, how did we even do it back then?
Well, one of the things that I'll start with is the primary mission and the primary work that your United States sailors do is the exact same today. It was in October 13th of 1775 when the Navy was first set to sea. That's to put sailors on board warships, sail those warships into harm's way, and fight and win our nation's wars. That is still the same. Now, how we go about doing that and the technological advances we have of executing that mission have certainly changed. I joined the Navy. We were certainly an analog world.
Yeah.
I'm probably still an analog sailor, living in a digital world. But the world has advanced, and so the Navy has advanced and transformed to get along in that world and to take advantage of those that newer technology. In the execution of its mission. I think that in many ways it makes things simpler. We're able to automate some things that are dull or dirty or dangerous, and it does make things simpler, but it also makes it a hell of a lot more complex. When we take into consideration what your war fighters in the Navy are contending with right now in the Middle East, they could easily be overwhelmed with the number of contacts that they have to discern very, very quickly if they're friendly or foe or ambiguous. They have to get through all of that very, very quickly in a very cluttered, space. Whether that's airspace or surface space, they have to make that discernment, make that decision. Then, if it is an enemy, how we're going to best neutralize that enemy, and in today's environment, they might have 10 to 15 seconds to figure all that out. Very difficult. And they have a lot of tools to help support them in making that decision. It still is a very, very challenging space. It's very demanding on those warfighters that are over there today because the price of getting that wrong, is tragic. I'm very proud of how well they're operating. And so to take it back to your original question, so much is the same. But the advances that we've made today have both made things simpler, but at the same time made many, many things much more complex. And so our sailors have recognized that. They're living up to what's being asked of them and have been a part of that from when I joined in 1987 until I retired last year. It was truly an honor, and to have watched our Navy grow and continue to maintain the supremacy of the seas that they are. There has been no finer naval fighting force than the United States Navy in the history of mankind. And that is what led to our economic superiority, is being able to have the control of the seas in the way that the Navy does. And I'm proud to have been a part of that.
Well, no more better time for that than now. And it's been on display. And I love your I'm an analog sailor in a digital world. It sounds like a country song.
Yeah, maybe it was just the way I sound, but certainly.
Oh, man, that's so cool. I mean, you got so many things going on, Jim. You're involved in so many things, but they're all basically down that same pipeline of helping your military and veteran community and doing the things that need to be done, whether it's advocacy, legislation. Just thank you so much for everything that you're doing, man. Your heart is still aimed in the right direction.
Oh, well, thank you, Randy. That's probably one of the best compliments I've gotten in some time, to have someone recognize that and point that out to me, because I try my best. I say often that, you become the sum of the people that you surround yourself with. And I try to surround myself with the best because God's going to put me where he needs me.
Yep.
And if I've surrounded myself with good people that keep my head in my heart in the places that they need to be, God will place me where he needs me to make the most action. And so thank you for recognizing that about me. I try to be the best person I can. Thank you.
Well, Jim Honea, you are still a hero. Thank you so much for the time, man.
Hey, God bless. Thank you, Randy.
God bless you too. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for being here for Still a Hero, powered by USAA. My name is Randy Miller. New episodes drop every single Monday. Come back next time for great conversations right here on Still a Hero.